New kings and kingdoms of the early medieval period. The rise of new kings and kingdoms of India, 700 to 1200 AD. In the early medieval period, there were a large number of regional kingdoms in India. The Pala dynasty dominated eastern India till the middle of the 9th century. From the middle of the 8th to the middle of the 9th century. Pala dynasty. Pala ruler Dharampala founded the famous Vikramashila University on the banks of the Ganga in Magad and revived Nalanda University. Kingdoms of India. Gujar Pratihar dynasty dominated western India. The most powerful ruler and the founder of the Pratihara dynasty was King Bhoja. The Chammanas or Chauhans was another group of Rajputs who ruled over the region of Delhi and Ajmer. Rajputs. The Rajputs established kingdoms in different parts of northern India. The most important of these were the Paramaras of Malwa, Chauhans of Ajmer, Ghandwalas of Kannauj, Chalukyas of Gujarat and Tomars of Delhi. Pratiharas, Chauhans, Solankis and Paramaras were the most important rulers. Rajput kings collected taxes from the peasants, artisans and traders, and they used these resources to maintain their army and for construction of forts and temples. Rajputs were busy fighting with a member of other clans, and a lot of resources and energy was wasted in them. The Rajputs were considered to be the Kshatriyas. They were divided into two Vansha, Chandravanshi and Suryavanshi. The Tomars established the city of Dallika, Delhi. In northern India, Rajputs became powerful politically. The Rashtrakuta Dynasty dominated Deccan and Maharashtra areas and flourished for about 200 years. The king was an absolute ruler who took high-sounding titles like Maharajadhiraja, Great King, Tribhuvan, Chakravartin, Lord of the Three Worlds. In practice, the king was helped by various officials like Samantas, Revenue Minister, Senapati, Treasurer, Chief Justice and Purohita. The king collected revenue and taxes. The peasants, herders, artisans and traders had to give a part of their produce to the king. The village administration system of that period continued on the same pattern till independence. Rashtrakuta Dynasty. The Rashtrakuta Dynasty dominated Deccan and Maharashtra areas and flourished for about 200 years. It supported Vaishnavism, Shaivism and Jainism and respected and protected the Islam. The famous rock-cut temple of Shiva at Ellora temple was built by the Rashtrakutas. The Palas, Pratiharas and Rashtrakutas often fought among themselves, which led to frequent rise and fall of the various kingdoms. The Rashtrakutas allowed Muslim traders to settle and permitted Islam to be preached in their dominions. This tolerant policy helped to promote foreign trade in peninsular India. Pallavas, Rashtrakutas and the Cholas were very powerful. Kingdoms of South Peninsular India. The Pallava dynasty ruled in the region of Peninsular South India. It ruled in some parts of modern Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. The Pallavas had their capital at Kanchi, Kanchipuram. They had trade relationship with Southeast Asia and China. However, their frequent wars with the Chalukyas and other neighboring powers weakened them. Pallava rule declined by the end of the 9th century. The Pallavas managed their administration through a number of local assemblies. Local assembly. Sabha was the assembly of the Brahmana land owners. The Ur was an assembly in those areas where landowners were not the Brahmanas. These assemblies looked after important matters like irrigation, agriculture, roads, temples, etc. In the 10th century, a Turkish conqueror captured Ghazni, now in Afghanistan, and founded the Ghaznavid Dynasty. Ghaznavid Dynasty. In the 10th century, a Turkish conqueror captured Ghazni and founded the Ghaznavid Dynasty. Sultan Mahmud Ghaznavid is the most famous ruler of this Ghaznavid dynasty. Mahmud raided India 17 times between AD 1000 and AD 1027. Two of his infamous attacks were on Kannauj in 1018 and the looting of the famous Somnath temple of Gujarat in 1025. Mahmud used this massive wealth that he carried from India to build a magnificent capital city of Ghazni. Al-Biruni wrote a book in the Arabic language called Kitab-e-Hind, which gives us a lot of interesting information about Indian society and culture. The Cholas Empire of Thanjavur. The Chola Empire arose in the 9th century by capturing the Pallava subordinates. In the Deccan Peninsula, the Cholas developed a powerful navy. The greatest Chola rulers were Rajaraja 985 to 1016 and his son Rajendra I 1016 to 1044. Cholas maintained a large army consisting of elephants, cavalry and infantry. They paid attention to irrigation, network of royal roads and many tanks for irrigation. The Chola Empire was divided into mandalams or provinces. Cholas had a very efficient system of government. Their local self-government related to the villages was remarkable.